Good morning. I'm waiting for the lawn to dry just a little bit. We had rain last night. I was not expecting that, but I'm very thankful. So I'm waiting for the lawn to dry just a bit so I can literally shave the tiny top bits off. It looks really shaggy and messy and it's not going to grow. So I thought in that time, I will spend it productively. I'm outing lies. My first one is by Jonathan Brash. Hi, Jonathan. Now, Jonathan's blocked me. Don't know why, hasn't told me. I'm assuming because I oppose what he says and he doesn't like that. So if he blocks me, then he feels like I don't have a platform to oppose what he says. But it doesn't really work like that because you can just repost what somebody's said with your highlight of why you think they didn't tell the truth. So let's give you a video of what I'm opposing with Jonathan Brash, the usual technological stuff. Oh, please like and subscribe. I can't get over how quickly this channel is going. I love you all of you, even the ones that challenge me that are a bit rude. Have no problem being challenged whatsoever. I think it's actually quite healthy, but don't be rude. Anyway, here we go. Here's Jonathan.
Today, the UK voted to leave the European Union, and a lot has happened since then. And since this Labour government came to power, we've been making the most of our Brexit freedoms. India, the US, the EU, free trade deals with three of the world's biggest economic players. But one thing we wouldn't have been able to do if we were still in the EU, removing the tax loopholes from private schools. A policy that's helped us put 4.7 billion into our state schools. A Labour government delivering on Brexit benefits where the Tories wouldn't, and Nigel Farage just couldn't.
Oh, I think he's been to some kind of TV school. I think he's been having some coaching there. Nice ending, Jonathan. Well done. Almost TV-like. So many things to talk about in there. And you're probably watching that with your blood pressure going up as well a bit, as was mine. But then I thought, oh, it's only Jonathan. No one listens to him anyway. So let's go through that, Jonathan. This is the man that taught in an independent school. So he was happy to take the money off the private parents of that independent school. And he's still touting the line that it was a tax loophole, a tax break. Now, let's see what the court said. So the court said, when considering the proportionality of the measure, Parliament's view is not determinative. It is relevant that the challenged provisions apply irrespective of the, I'm having to do this, means of the parent. Even if some parents are wealthy, many are not. The claimants are not wealthy. Many of them are in receipt of state benefits. A submission to the Chancellor and Chief Secretary to the Treasury recognised that 25% of the household affected would fall into the bottom half of the household income distribution. This would affect 159,000 of the 636,000 pupils currently attending private schools, assuming that affected pupils are equally distributed amongst households. So first of all, we don't have the wealthiest parents. And then we had the court saying that this wasn't a tax loophole. You couldn't refer to it as that. It is not a tax break. So the court said that. The court said that not all of the parents, 25% of the parents are in the lower income threshold, and it's not a tax break. They were quite hard on that stance. They also said it would detrimentally disadvantage the most vulnerable. So that's the first thing. But then he talks about £4.7 billion. And I'm like, hang on, where have you got that from? 4.7 billion? It was 1.5 billion and now it's 4.7 billion. What are we doing? Just sort of like going, that looks like a nice number. I'll pluck it off the tree and I'll tell the British public and they'll go for it. Some of them will believe it. Well, no, they won't. This one doesn't. So I thought, let's have a little look on Grok, shall we? Shall we see what Grok says? So Grok says, the 4.7 billion figure mentioned by Jonathan Brash in his ex-post is not accurate in the context he presents. No shit, Sherlock. He says the policy to charge VAT on private school fees and remove business rates relief was estimated to raise about 1.5 billion annually by the Institute for Fiscal Studies and other sources, not 4.7 billion. This revenue was intended to fund improvements in state schools, but the figure Brash cites seems to be an exaggeration or misinterpretation, that's kind, of the actual financial impact or the amount directly allocated to state schools from this policy. The policy has been controversial and legally challenged, with concerns about its fairness and impact on certain groups, including disabled children, as noted in the recent High Court rulings. Therefore, the 4.7 billion claim does not align with the documented estimates and should be viewed critically. Now, we've got Jonathan Brash filming himself outside the Houses of Parliament. Look at me, I'm Jonathan Brash, I'm an MP, I'm an elected member of Parliament, giving you, the British public, willfully, knowingly wrong figures. So some people somewhere voted Jonathan Brash in. They trusted him. They believed in him. They thought he was going to act in their best interests. Yet here he is outside Parliament making a little video with the wrong facts. Now, lots of people can make little videos with the wrong facts, and lots of people do make little videos with the wrong facts. And I myself have in the past got some of my numbers wrong. And when I have, I've said, oh, I'm really sorry, everybody. I got that number wrong. I've owned it. It's happened 3 times and I've absolutely owned it, but I'm not an elected member of Parliament. So I think Jonathan Brash, who holds an authority, should be held to account, being an elected member of Parliament and lying to you and me and all the people that voted him in about this number. Now, this is really interesting from Jonathan, and the reason that I single him out is A, that's just a blatant lie, but B, Jonathan went to Yarm School and he was a teacher there. So he had a private education and then he taught in a private school. Now, what does that say to you? What does that say to you about the ethics of somebody who has turned their back? And it's okay to have a change of heart. It's okay to have a change of thought. And, you know, you see things and you go, oh, actually, yeah, I might not do it that way this time. And everybody can reflect on their past and work on their future. That's absolutely fine. Would you wantonly and knowingly harm the institution that not only you benefited from, but you worked in as well, so therefore benefited from in terms of salary, pension, etc., etc.? I think that says a lot about Jonathan Brash by name. And I think that he owes everybody in his constituency an apology and the British public, because that was a wanton lie. So, Jonathan, over to you. Obviously, I haven't blocked you, so you are very welcome to respond on my pages. You are very welcome to tell me what you think. I would actually welcome a dialogue with you, Jonathan. I think it would be really interesting. It would not be a fisticuff punchy one. No, not at all. I'm happy to have an actual dialogue with you. But to do that, we have to use our listening ears. We have to listen to what each side says. I've heard a lot of what you've said. So let's see if you can listen to what I've got to say. How does that sound? It's not a challenge, it's an invitation. So, Jonathan, are we going to have a conversation? Yes or no?